Good morning, everybody. Yes, change the hairstyle. I was gonna do well. It's all good, man. I got to tell you, I was gonna do it a little bit more of a surprise this morning, but hey, you know what? It's out there now. The question is, why did we change the hairstyle? Well, hang on a minute or two for that one. So we'll tell you all about it. So it was a decision made a while ago to do this, or maybe it was a decision made a couple of years ago, or maybe it was this that I needed to be consistent with everything that I mentioned when I speak to you about, hey, do what you can in order to help others get through their little issues in here. So I think it's a little bit of everything as the story goes. So good morning. Let's do a little typing here on our page. Good morning to all. And I got to tell you, I've never felt more. There's been a number of times when I felt pretty good about things that I've done to help out different places and things like that. This absolutely happens to be one of them. So what's the backstory on all of this stuff? Well, actually goes back a number of years ago. So I met Suzanne Hair We Share at one of the business networking events. And I thought it was really very interesting from a business perspective, from a branding standpoint, and from the standpoint of something that just truly, truly made sense. So Suzanne is in the hair business. So for her to have a nonprofit involved with the hair business made just a total amount of sense. It's Hair We Share is the company, is the nonprofit. So she makes wigs. So she makes wigs and she donates, gives away those wigs to people that are in need of hair replacement, that have been through some medical issue, some which I've learned. Well, it's a medical issue of one sort or another. I just initially thought, it's cancer, chemotherapy, you lose your hair. But if you listen to some of the videos, watch some of the videos that I posted yesterday, which I won't play again, so I'll put the link up to that one. But you could see that there are a number of situations where hair, a replacement of hair, comes into play, whether it be cancer, chemotherapy, whether it would be some other disease that just affects the hair follicles. There was a story about a gentleman who had gotten into a car accident where they had to shave the head because the skull broke, but the skull actually disappeared, broke off. So a wig was going to be the only thing. The hair was definitely not going to grow back on that one. So this whole thing has been a learning experience, in that respect. But so when I met Suzanne, and going back a couple of years ago at that business event, saw the table, saw everything. She's like, at some point in time, maybe there's some way that I'd be able to support this effort. And as you know, involved with a couple of other things on a personal level, Crohn's Colitis Foundation being the one. The Wasn't sure, how to do it. Always kept my hair clean, neat, and all the rest of that kind of stuff until recently. But always kept my hair clean and neat, so that really wasn't going to be it. So I support a fundraiser or something, whatever it might be. And pandemic came along. Uh, and then I, started doing this program, contacted her about coming on, and wasn't able to do it with the scheduling, between her schedule and mine, looking to do this, in the morning. So that really didn't happen. And then the by the way conversation took place. By the way, by the way, what does it really take to donate hair? She's like, well, it's got to be 8 inches or more. And then we'll work with that. Men's hair? Yep. They now take men's hair, gray hair. Yup. I was like, well, 8 inches. That's a lot of hair. Well, go a few months later than that, all of a sudden, 8 inches becomes a reality. So she, then was something I was getting there. So I, told her I was, kind of getting there. And a few weeks ago, she said, would you be interested in taping something with us? This way we could share the story about donating hair. She's like, she thought I'd be a good candidate for something like that. I was like, yeah. When I got that phone call from her and she'd asked me, was the hair long enough and would I be interested in doing this thing? Well, the answer is yes. I've done that before on various occasions. Say, yes, I'll do that. And then wonder, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? Well, I said yes. And then the rest of the story will come to light real quickly over here. But I wound up doing it. So got my hair cut. And there he went. So I got my hair cut on camera, which is really cool. It's going to be on the Today Show. That'll be broadcast soon. They just taped it yesterday. We did it at a salon in Glen Cove, Head Rush. Guy was great doing that thing. And ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the one and only, the man who cut my hair, the guy that took me from one wild, crazy individual to straightforward, clean looking kind of guy, Antonino. Antonino, I was just telling him how comfortable you made me look when you
Yes.
put all those rubber bands in my hair. Oh my God, that was just way too cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, he is the driving force. He's the man behind Head Rush in Glen Cove, New York. He's the man with the golden scissors and then the razor. And then he just kept on going. No, I don't know. There was a little nerve wracking for me about 3/4 of the way through. I don't know why, but you were terrific. And thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was a little nerve wracking for me too. I mean, being on TV and everything like that, it was kind of a big deal. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, everybody was telling me like, just do what you normally do. You do it every day. So what's the difference? And yeah, but having a camera on you and everything like that, it definitely was a little nerve wracking. And plus, I didn't really know you too well or the other donors. So I didn't know how comfortable you would have felt with really going as short as you did. So it was really cool all around, to be a part of it and everything.
Yeah. Well, maybe I could have conveyed that, a little bit more on the whole thing. But I was just super, super excited about doing this. I just thought it was just great all around.
Yeah,
You know,
totally.
I mean, Suzanne is terrific. The cause is terrific. The reason why, and this comes up time and time again,
Yeah.
the reason why these things happen, the opportunity to do, the opportunity to be on TV, the opportunity to share a story. But if you go back, it's the scenarios that got us there or got these people there. It's just so bad. So it's nice to do a little something,
Absolutely.
to help out.
Any way to give back to the community or to the people that support us, it's the least that we can do. It's a great thing, to be a part of something like that. I was sharing with the producer Katie. I was sharing a little bit with her and what made me get into doing hair. And I was actually managing. My father had a salon in Manhattan, and I was managing his store. I didn't know anything about doing hair at the time. I was really just going there to kind of manage and oversee things, day to day that were going on in his business. And a woman calls and, she's just frantic. I woke up and I just feel so, ugly and depressed. And I just need to get my hair. I'm like, all right, listen, like, let's relax. What do you need to get done? And she's like, I just need a wash and blow. And I just need to feel pretty. I was like, yeah, we can accommodate you. Absolutely. So we booked her time. She came in. And being able to see and witness firsthand what that visit meant to her and how that changed her perspective of herself and how she went about her day that day was really powerful. It was really moving to me. And that really was what nudged me into the direction of wanting to do hair. Being able to control or to change somebody's feelings or out view of themselves is it was really touching, to be a part of, to be able to do that, have that ability was a no-brainer for me.
That's interesting. So you
Yeah.
really went into this thing from following in the father's footsteps, kind of, really, because
Yeah.
I guess if you really thought you were going to, you would have gone through, the haircutting school, all the rest of that stuff. But it doesn't seem like you did originally.
Right. Right. As a matter
It's
of
not like,
fact,
hey, I got a pair of scissors, let me go cut.
yeah,
You
no,
did
I
phenomenal stuff.
I chose not to go to college. I didn't want to take out student loans and bury myself in debt. So I decided to just go to work. My parents were okay with that. And being hands-on and seeing it firsthand is what really helped me move into this direction. And when I started beauty school, I had no idea what to do with a blow dryer and a brush and a scissor and a comb. And as I started doing it more and more, I was like, wow, like I really enjoy this. I really like not only being able to change somebody's whole perspective or dynamic, but like, you know, to create, it just gives you the ability to create. I mean, we do, in beauty school, there's a lot of different things that we would do where like we would do like updos or evening, hairstyles and things like that. So it was really cool because like it got you out of your element of just doing regular blowouts and haircuts and styling, and it pushed you in a more creative direction. And when you're doing color and things like that, that's really where it all spawns from, your creativity and your creative juices, and that's what helps you formulate color and things like that for people too. So it was just a segment that I've never touched on until I got into the industry, and I was like, wow, like I really like this, I really enjoy this. So I just kept going with it.
That's great. I mean, that's really got to be a nice blending of what you do.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean, overall, from a business perspective,
Yeah.
also because you get it from the inside, you really get it from the ground up. Because coming out of it, because look, flat out, you could be like super creative and not be able to run a business. I'm running across that,
Right.
quite a few times. They're like, oh, I have to do this. Why? Because I love doing it. It's great. But there's a business behind the whole thing. And I think some people forget that with the nonprofit world too.
Right,
But
right.
so you fully understanding that and then loving what you do, that's a perfect combination.
Yeah, yeah. So it just felt right, when I moved into this location here in Roslyn, I had somebody come in for a hair donation. And I know Pantene and I know Locks of Love and I know all these other foundations, these other organizations that, yeah, I've donated to in the past. But I don't know, I just wanted to kind of see if I can find something that was a little bit more local and a little bit more, in my community. And luckily I found Hair We Share, and they're just as passionate as really anybody in the industry. They work on clients there too, actually, in their facility as well. So they're hands-on just as much as a hairstylist would be and things like that. And the passion is there to help people and give people a better outlook of how they present themselves and how they carry themselves from their day to day. It's very important.
Should I use a quote over here? Giving you on trend looks that will boost your confidence.
Right.
Now because I read, and this is what's on the tagline, folks, on their website. So we'll give out the website too, to go over there. But I was like, that's an interesting thing that you would put on there, the confidence word, and that's right up my alley, with all this stuff. But I now I see where it comes from,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're giving the people just on a regular haircut, or just what you're doing on a day-to-day, more on a day-to-day basis. Besides this, let's put this in a special category.
Yeah.
You really are giving the people like, wow, I like the way I look. I feel good about the whole thing, and it does create
Yeah,
confidence.
like coming out of the pandemic, that was one thing that a lot of people had mentioned. Like, I didn't get my hair cut for a while. Where was I going? Who was I seeing? And that's understood, But when you're working in an office setting, or you're a CEO of a big company or whatever it is, your presence, your the way you present yourself, it really speaks volumes. I mean, you don't want to come in looking all disheveled and your hair's a mess and everything. I mean, so coming out of the pandemic, that was like the number one thing. I'm going back to work. I got to look the part. And it was really, it spoke volumes. And I think just because we start to see things in a trend or in a fad, or things come and go, and everything kind of repeats itself in a way that we notice with clothes and fashion and things like that. Hairstyles, big time. That show, there was a TV show that came out and everybody was doing mullets after that. I mean, it was the craziest thing. My whole career in being a hairdresser, I can't confidently say I probably haven't done that many mullets until now. Kids are, I don't know what it is that, the lacrosse players and the football players, they want to do the flow in the back where it's long and bushy.
Yeah.
It's, so everything really repeats itself. Everything comes back around. So yeah, it's really, just being trendy and staying on the latest trend is huge for us.
I remember the bullets.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't so bad. It's an easy haircut to do, you know.
You know, you made me look younger, but you know, we still got those grays down there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can address those two at a later time. Not a problem.
Yeah. So on that note, and I know you don't do clothes here, but does that mean I could break out my bell bottoms again?
I mean, everything's within reason. So,
Yeah.
I know the girls, the fashion world, they were doing it not too long ago. So,
You never know, right? You,
Right,
you,
right.
you you just never know. But you know what you're talking about there with that confidence, you're right. You know, I run across that quite a lot too. It's like, oh, you know, you got to get on. You know, if somebody's going to go out and talk about something, promote their business, get involved with a nonprofit, and talk about that nonprofit, and stand up in front of a group of people, whether it's in person or on camera, whatever it is, they have to like the way they look,
Yeah,
or they have to at least like the journey that they're on as they're transforming into whomever it is. But it's that inner confidence that comes from different places. And by all means, you know, the hair is one of those places, but it's that inner confidence that gives people the foundation start of it, but the foundation in order to continue on moving forward. And I could tell you, you know, a lot of times, you know, we look at, you know, the weight loss and the clothing and things like that. Uh, but you're 100% spot on here, you know, with the my hair looks good. If your hair doesn't look good, I don't, you know,
yeah,
over the past 6 months, I've had a few days where my hair didn't look too good, you know.
yeah. I mean, and that's another thing too, because it's hard, you know, for somebody like, you know, somebody like you or whoever to grow their hair out to that length to be able to donate it. I mean, there's a lot of awkward stages of growing your hair out to that length. Like my hair is super curly, so for me to grow my hair to the length that you had it, my hair, I would, you know, it would be like this, you know what I mean? So, you know, there's a lot of awkward stages and there's a lot of things that play into it. And like for me, when I was during the pandemic, I mean, I'm a hairdresser. Yeah, I could theoretically cut my own hair, but it's not easy to cut your own hair, you know? So I went through my own challenges during the pandemic. You know, I would walk through my living room and I would walk past the mirror and be like, oh my God, like, who is that? You know, my beard's out to here, my hair's out to here. And I'm just like, who's that man over there? You know? So,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, your hair and the way you present yourself could impact you in such a way that you don't realize until you're in that situation.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's that saying out there too. You know, you walk into a hair salon, a barber shop, whatever. One guy's really neatly groomed, the other one's not. Who do you get your hair cut by?
Exactly.
It's the guy that's not.
Right.
Yeah, because he did the other one.
That's
You know,
a good point. Yeah, I like that.
it's like, nah, I don't know if you could cut your hair cleanly in a
Yeah,
mirror
it's
backwards.
working
You're good.
mirror in mirror. It's kind of hard, you know, because everything's backwards. So it's a little bit more difficult than you know. But if I had to, I would probably make it work just because you know, if it came to shove, you know what I mean?
Yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. So this was the first time you did something on camera, getting, you know, cutting somebody's hair on camera.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I did a Blue Cross Blue Shield, not the Red Cross. We did a foundation, like a drive for the Red Cross a while ago, but I was just an employee at the salon. So I was, you know,
Right.
background noise. I wasn't the main guy. So like I was a part of this kind of production, but I was not the main focus of it. Like this time. So this was a little bit more nerve wracking. You know, I also leading, you know, pre-pandemic, I was working for the color company that we use here, Goldwell. I'm actually an educator for the company. So what that means is, let's say you owned a hair salon and your stylist were mentioning to you like, hey, Brian, you know, I'm having a hard time covering gray, or every time I try to, you know, this formula, it always comes out on the warmer side. And, you know, how can I get it to cool down? And if there's, you know, imperfections or whatever it is in the salon, you can call the company and they would actually invite me to your salon. And then I would actually educate your staff on how to use the product more efficiently. So, so I've been somewhat the focal of, you know, what the presentation or what's at hand, but never with the camera in my face. So like that was the part where it got a little more real. You know, I've never been mic'd up. You know, so
Uh,
it definitely, some things definitely put me on different dynamics. So it was getting a little bit of, definitely getting, accustomed to. But,
That's
I
funny.
did public speaking courses in the past and things like that. I took a course at Hofstra actually for public speaking. And so I'm kind of familiar with speaking to groups. It's just not in that setting with the camera and everything like that.
So I guess the question is, who was more nervous during this thing? Because I didn't know that. I'm super cool with the camera.
Uh,
I do a lot of public speaking, and obviously, folks, we've never had this conversation. It was like, but I'm very involved with Toastmasters, given plenty of public presentations. Obviously, I do this, I do stuff, with my town on TV. So that side of it was good. I've never had my hair cut this short, never on camera either, getting my hair cut. So that was a bit different. And I had no idea. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, so my hair was, well, but, and I got the photos over here. I'll post them up in there. But, in that morning before I left the house, I took a photo right behind my, the wall back there with my hair, and it was down to like here or so, as that went. And it was like, what an unbelievable difference.
yeah,
Seeing
you
that
probably
in there. I
feel,
wasn't sure what it was going to feel like. So about three-quarters of the way through, when you were cutting my hair, after we joked about the rubber bands,
uh-huh.
which I got to get those photos, by the way.
Yeah,
And
I'll
I
send
got
them.
this on camera. But it was like, man, and when you cut them, I was like, darn. And it's like, there's no turning back. That's when I actually started getting a little bit nervous about the whole thing.
Set in,
But I
yeah.
had no idea you never did this on camera. So
Yeah.
where was your moment? You're like, oh my God, this is like unbelievably real.
Yeah. I think just like I said, just from the time that I was mic'd up, like I've never had, I've seen people get mic'd up before, but I've never been mic'd. So I think just the whole time of like watching the camera crew set up, getting mic'd up, and then just going into it, it was like, it was a very surreal thing for me. I mean, this is like, I've done, like I said, I've done things kind of similar in the past, but never to this caliber. So this was a whole new pinnacle for me. You know what I mean? Like this was really a shining star moment in my book. So, but yeah, I mean, I was super nervous. I don't know if you could tell. I was more nervous cutting the girl than cutting you because I knew we were going to go short with you. So I wasn't, I mean, you can cut a short haircut. You can skin a cat 10 different ways, I guess you could say, right? But with the younger girl, she was really looking to achieve a style out of that cut. So, when you take a ponytail and you take all of the hair and put it in one ponytail and then chop it, there's going to be hair that's going to be longer in some lengths and shorter in some lengths. So it's really blending and fixing that haircut. It's after the initial cut, it's really fixing it and making it more of a look or a style. So I was more worried. I was more nervous with her hair, to be honest. But nevertheless, I mean, at the same time I'm cutting, but I'm also thinking about, trying not to say something stupid, try not to, so there was a lot of different thoughts going on and there were a lot of different emotions and everything. So
Oh, you were terrific, especially when you started with the razor to get the hair out of my
yeah,
ears. Because I
yeah,
had friends tell me, I said, Brian, you got to make sure
yeah.
you do the nose hairs. Uh, uh, it's a good thing we do this thing informal, but do the nose hairs, and trim the hair in your ear. And I did it this, in the morning, and then you started going at it. I was like, oh, say here we are on national TV. He's cutting the hair in my ears. You're like,
It's
it's
like
okay, Brian. I blocked the camera.
yeah,
That was
it
great.
comes to my back. You're all good. Yeah, no, it's just a courtesy that I do, like nobody, like even for myself, I can't see the hair that the few hairs that I have. I'm like, I can't see it from the mirror. So like, if somebody says to me, I'm like, oh, can you do me a favor and just whack them off? It's just a courtesy that I do for all my male clients. I'll trim the eyebrows and I'll trim the ear hairs and things like that.
Yeah, but it was just so funny when you
Yeah.
I blocked the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. I was like, that was definitely good. But I had no idea it was the first time you did it on camera. Any of that stuff. If you were nervous, man, it did not come through at all.
Thank
I just sat there like a statue, like just okay, like let's make believe getting a regular haircut, doing that whole thing until a little pigtail thing came up. That was the funniest part, on my side.
Yeah.
as that goes. But I could see the girl being much, much more difficult. And she was like 10, 12 years old,
I
something
think
like
he was
that.
like, yeah,
So her story when I spoke with her is that she had a couple of her friends that were also donated hair. So it was really, and I spoke to the mom a little bit, and it was so it was just great to see her so wanting to do this and donate the hair, and her friends do it too. Is like,
yeah,
that's the one thing they had asked me, like, about the pandemic and what some silver linings out of it. But one of the things I truly hope, because we've been through this whole thing together, different ships together, that kind of thing, is that
yeah,
we become much more sensitive to each other and the different plights that we're all going through.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, totally. I mean, that was one thing that she mentioned, the young girl. I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but the commentary that she was talking about when she did the interview was just, it was heartbreaking, man. It was really sad to hear, like her reasoning, and it was really touching, and I shared also too quickly. I had my aunt had breast cancer a long time ago. Thank God she was in remission, and she lost all of her hair, and and her whole life all she had was she always had a bang, this little security blanket of a bang in front of her face, and when you see a bang, that's your focal point. That's the first thing you see. So when her hair finally started to grow back in, a little longer than yours, more like mine, I was able to actually incorporate with extensions a bang in her hair. And it looked totally flawless. I mean, the rest of her hair was still super short, but it was the bang that she was missing. And being able to give her that, you know what I mean? Give her that comfort, give her that peace back, like, I mean, like I said, like we've been saying, this, hair is a huge impact on your emotions and everything like that. So you make a big, splash in a pond. You know what I'm saying? When you do something like this, it's really remarkable.
yeah, you keep going back to that personal stuff. It's you're just so in the right spot
Yeah, I
because
can't help it.
with
It's just the way it touches me internally.
yeah, but by you doing what you do, like each and every day, every time you have somebody sitting in that chair, every time you're working with somebody, I mean, you really are giving them a different level of confidence, as they're going through their day, week, month, whatever it might be. And you don't know sometimes some of the challenges people face. And that might be the bright spot of getting a new hairstyle or getting it
1000%.
colored or whatever,
Absolutely.
it may be. So
Anytime a girl's going through a breakup, they'll come in and be like, I want to change. I want to be blonde. I want to go short. I'm like, what's going on? What is everything okay? I just broke up with my boyfriend and I want to, like it's just, people gravitate to, doing different things with their hair in the emotion or in that moment that they're in. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
that's cool. See, you're the motivational speaker with scissors.
There you go. Maybe we can do something together. We can link up.
You know what? I would love to do that. I'd love to do it. Hey, maybe if I go further, Gray, because
Yeah,
I've always stayed away from somebody's, oh, you should dye your hair this way you look younger. I'm like, because
looks better
I
on
don't
you.
know. But maybe we'll break down. You and I will do that.
There you go. Sounds good,
So,
man. I'm up for it.
you know what? The world is full of possibilities. I just want to put a plug in over here. When you donate stuff, you wind up getting t-shirts too.
There you go. Yep. Yep.
So Suzanne over at Hair We Share, absolutely terrific. And Suzanne, and I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of both of us over here. Thank you so much for the opportunity to allow us to play some little part in your efforts over here of not only getting hair donated, which is part of it, but gaining, helping out with the visibility and whatever we could do further. I know we would love to. I know I would love to do. And I know, Antonita, you've been involved, with them. And I didn't realize that you actually you searched them out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I Googled them. I wanted somebody that was local to my community. And then I went down there and introduced myself personally, pre-pandemic. I introduced myself, I donated the hair, and I told them, I said, if there's anything that you guys need, anything you need help with, if you're doing fundraisers, whatever it may be, think of me and my staff. We'd be more than happy to help. And then I wound up going back a second time to donate, to drop off more hair. And that's when, she had mentioned that if I wanted to maybe take a box of wigs, already finished made wigs, with me to the salon, and then just on downtime, have my staff and myself wash and style the wig. So this way, when the recipient gets the hair, it's a clean, styled wig, so they don't have to go through the work of doing that also. So we've been working with them doing that also, helping them kind of process the wigs and clean them and get them ready for, to be departed to their recipient.
That's great. It really is. There's so many things that you're doing over there that I had no idea. It's one of the reasons. One of the things, side benefits, we'll say, of doing this kind of program in the morning. You get a chance to see what's going on in other people's lives, either from the nonprofit, the business side of it, and then the blending of the two together, which is really something that I from a message standpoint, it's been, why it makes sense for a business to be involved with a nonprofit. Some of that is the business branding thing. It's nice to be known. There's ways to separate yourself out from other people, and that is certainly a part of things. But it's that personal gain, that personal goodwill deposit that we have in our own being as to why it is what we're doing and how we can help others along the way. What makes us just personally feel good. And
Yeah.
obviously makes the other person feel good too. It's a win. It looks like you got a trifecta over there. You're making it work on all three levels. So
All right,
kudos
man.
to you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely my pleasure. And then once this thing gets broadcast, maybe we'll have a little party. We'll see
link
what we
back
can
up
do.
again.
Big shared screen thing or something like that. Who
Totally.
knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll do totally maskless. We'll see if we can get to that level too.
Hopefully.
Nice job, by the way, in the salon, by the way, keeping everybody safe. All those partitions, they were great. They actually look really good too. I don't even know. You might take down the signs after a while.
Yeah, honestly, I don't see them coming down. I don't see them coming down for a while. The masks and everything, because we can't keep 6 feet. So it's just we're probably gonna be wearing them a little longer than most places.
But even the plastic partitions, they looked good. It looked good. It's like, okay, it's like your own private little booth,
I feel
your
like-
motivational speeches, motivational, cuts that you're doing. So who knows?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The motivational stylist. Hey, it's all good. Anthony, so could you just give your website, and I'll put some of the links up with it. And there's a whole ton of different photos, the before and afters as that go along.
Yeah,
and I
so-
definitely want to see the pigtail photo of me. All right.
Yeah,
All the folks, before you go, it's like all the stylists are out there. You look like you had the paparazzi in there. That was just really, really cool.
absolutely. So we can be found at headrushsalon.com. We're in Roslyn, East Hills, Roslyn Heights, New York, 300 Glen Cove Road. Come check us out. Come get a haircut.
Super easy to get to, man. It's off the expressway and boom, you're right there. You can't miss it. Parking's easy, the whole thing. Place is beautiful. And we got photos. We share all those photos later on. Hey, man, thank you so much. It's a new beginning for me. So there you go. Thank you. And Suzanne and everybody else. And obviously for the Today Show too, for putting the effort, into doing this. That is just, really, really wonderful for them to make this whole thing happen too. So
Absolutely.
So I always leave it: speak well, speak often, and live inspired. You know what? You're doing it. I hope I'm doing it. And hopefully everybody else does that along the way too.
Awesome, Brian. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend.
Take care.